lower side of that double fence line for us to follow those special USDA regulations in order for us to run a cheetah off exhibit, off leash, just a few feet in front of you today. Does that sound good? Are you excited to get started? All right. Well, I want to introduce you to two of my incredible coworkers. We've got Shannon and we've got Wendy, and they are going to be bringing out our first wildlife ambassadors. A little different than a cheetah, but they are found in the savannas of Africa. Shannon is going to be using the same hand signals that we'll be seeing with our cheetahs. The hand goes up, that indicates she's ready to open. Hand goes down, and they are running. So that's the same that's going to be for our cheetah Beati this morning. But these two are, of course, birds. These are what we call African crested guinea fowl, and they are a common poultry that you would find in the savannas of Africa. They're running around, which who is not happy to see a guinea fowl run around? They're very adorable, and they do a pretty cool thing on ranches in the savannas of Africa. They have an impressive alarm call that they will make when they see something that seems alarming to them. Sounds like a screw being stripped with a power drill. Nice job, Prancer and Vixen. You can give them a round of applause. They do a really nice job there. And that alerts the ranchers, it alerts the other livestock that there might be something to be worried about, which is helpful in the savannas of Africa when we're trying to live with some of these predators, because it helps the predators be less likely to predate on the livestock. So here at the Wildlife Alliance, our goal is to see a world where all life is able to thrive, and we're talking about humans, wildlife, plants, everything in these ecosystems. So these birds are a great example of how we can do that a little bit creatively. We're gonna run them one more time. This is a training session, by the way. Everything you're gonna see down here is a training session. We use positive reinforcement to train our wildlife ambassadors. And this is a newer behavior for Prancer and Vixen. They commonly will be walking around the safari park with their behavior specialist, but we're working on a new, what we call hands-off behavior, where they just get to run around from station to station, and in each of those little black tubs, they get some yummy reinforcement, which might come in the form of different produce, or if they're really lucky and have a special treat in there, they might even get some mealworms in there. So pretty good things. As they start to parade around with their behaviorist Shannon, I want to talk a little bit about the rest of our event this morning. So this track is very special. It is the world's longest dedicated cheetah run track. It is 100 meters long. That's 330 feet for my American friends. And the cheetah is going to run from one end, running after a stuffed toy on a mechanical lure, all the way down to the other end. And the length of this track is very special because it is long enough that the cheetah is going to be able to reach those speeds that make it, of course, the fastest animal on land, which is going to be close to 70 miles per hour, depending on the individual. And it's not just the speed that makes the cheetah unique. It's the acceleration, right? So they can go in just 3 strides from 0 to 40 miles per hour, which is a really fast acceleration, much quicker than I can go in just 1, 2, 3 steps, right? Another way to think about this is that they can go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 3.4 seconds. So really fast acceleration. And the other thing about this track is it's long enough for the cheetah to then decelerate. So it's going to go 70 miles per hour, but then it's got to go back down to 0 miles per hour, which I have a feeling our friends down at the bridge are probably going to be happy about, because who wants an animal running at 70 miles per hour into them, right? So that is really important for the length here of this track. Now, of course, we're all very distracted by these adorable guinea fowl, but I hear some beeping behind me, which is indicating that our guests of honor have arrived. In that cart, you are going to get a chance to meet our adult female African cheetah Beati. You're also going to get a chance to meet her companion dog, Willow, this morning. Now, can you show me with some thumbs up or thumbs down, how many folks here are familiar with our cheetah and dog program here at the safari park or the zoo? We do it there too. I see a couple thumbs up. Awesome. So we have found that over the years, some of our ambassador cheetahs, and what I mean by that is the wildlife ambassadors that come out and meet guests around the safari park, they are set up for success a little bit better for that role when they're raised with the dog from a very, very young age. So they live together all the time. Beati and Willow are actually two of our closest bonded companion cheetah and dog pairs. And one way that we're able to utilize that relationship is that when we bring Beati out, we bring Willow out too, and we let her out first so that Beati is able to see Willow, who she lives with all of the time, come out and have that nice, relaxed dog body language, right? Wagging tail, excited to see people. And that helps Beati know, oh, all right, everything is safe out here. I don't have anything to worry about. So you're going to get a chance to meet both of these ambassadors here this morning. Now, we have got a number of players on our track that I want to introduce you to. This is my favorite part because I get to introduce you to my fantastic coworkers, these behaviorists down here. Coming down right now, this is Annette. Hello, Annette. This is our primary trainer for Beati this morning. Annette has an incredible relationship with Beati, has raised her since she was very, very young. So Beati and her have a very close relationship that you're going to get a chance to see as she's working with her today. And like I said, just like with our guinea fowl, we use positive reinforcement when we're training our cheetahs. It's not going to be mealworms for Beati. She's going to get some yummy, delicious meat. That's probably going to be a little bit more interesting for her. Then continuing running down our track, we've got Wendy. Hello, Wendy. Now, Wendy has the hardest job on the track this morning. And the reason for that is because she's the one who's playing cat and mouse with the world's fastest land animal. So here's the deal. She's the one who is pushing that button to pull that stuffed toy closer to her down at the end of the track. And if you've ever played with a string with your cat at home, you know that you kind of got to play that game with her. Just imagine that cat is going 70 miles per hour. So it's a pretty tricky job, but you know what? Wendy is very good at it. So I am very confident that we are going to have a fantastic run here this morning. The other trainer that we've got down here is Suzanne down there with that adorable yellow lab, Willow. Suzanne is going to be working with Willow. She's also going to be what we call our release behaviorist. So she's the one who's actually going to be opening up the door of Beati's travel carrier. All right, I see Wendy's hand going up, which indicates she's ready. Suzanne is going to raise her hand up, and then when she lowers it, that's the indication that Willow's going to run down this track. You can cheer for her. The louder you cheer, the faster she goes. Good job, Will. So Willow did that run in 8.7 seconds. That's a pretty good 100-meter dash for Miss Willow. Now, we do that for a few reasons. One, who doesn't want to see Willow run down this track? Two, it gives you an idea of really what it's going to look like when this cheetah is running down, because of course the cheetah runs faster than Willow. So, gives you an idea of if you want to take a photo, that's what it's going to look like. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. If you've never been here before, I would recommend putting your camera down. A lot of people leave Shiley's Cheetah Run track with beautiful pictures of the grass, because the cheetah runs really, really fast. We might do multiple runs with Beati, but it really depends on how Beati does this morning. So we always let her call the shots, but we can guarantee that we'll give you one run. So if it's just that one, I highly recommend just taking it all in. And when I say take it all in, of course you're gonna watch it, but I want you also to listen, right? Her claws are very special. I'll talk a little bit about them later on, but they create this incredible sound that sounds like a herd of racehorses running down this track. So make sure you're watching, make sure you're listening. And just another reminder, we are now going to be bringing our cheetah on out. So Please make sure you stay in one spot to help her stay nice and relaxed this morning. If you have any of those lovely stuffed toys, now is the time to move them to the side. So we're going to be watching our behaviorists. Once Wendy raises that hand, it tells us that she's ready. Then Suzanne's going to raise her hand, and I am going to let you all watch this run. That was an absolutely beautiful run by Beate. Yeah, we can give a nice little golf applause for her. Fantastic. She's a little bit different than our and then our dog, of course. So nice little quiet golf applause. Good job, Beate. That was absolutely beautiful. And I saw a couple of faces out there that had some very impressive mouths wide open, which is one of my favorite things to see. Now, Beate did that 100-meter dash in 5.9 seconds, which is a really fast run for one of our cheetahs. So absolutely beautiful. Beate is turning 8 years old this year, which would in the wild be on the later end of a cheetah's lifespan. However, here at the safari park, we like to say that they kind of get the bed and breakfast lifestyle. So in the savannas of Africa, where they would naturally be living, they are going to have to be trying to find their food. They're going to have to be competing with other predators. They're going to have to be basically making their own lives, right? Here it's a little bit different. She doesn't have to worry about getting her food. She knows that she's always going to get her food from us. And she also is going to not have to worry about other predators who are faster than her out competing her. As she's walking around, you're able to see some of those gorgeous adaptations that help her to do that run, which are going to be from her head all the way down to her toes. Now, what's happening right now is Annette is assessing Beate, because when these cheetahs go into these runs, their bodies start to behave a little bit differently, right? Imagine if you just sprinted as fast as you possibly could. You might be a little bit out of breath by the end of it. Imagine doing that 100-meter dash in just, 6 seconds, right? So they are going to be running very, very fast. Their heart rate accelerates, their breath rate accelerates, and that is going to make it so that their body then needs to relax afterwards. So that's the assessment that is going on right now. When they're doing these runs in the savannas of Africa, it isn't just for fun, right? They are doing these runs to chase their prey. A real common prey item for an African cheetah is going to be what's called a Thompson's gazelle. A Thompson's gazelle can run at speeds of up to 40 miles themselves, so they're pretty fast animals, which is why the cheetah has to be able to run faster than that, which is why they go at these very, very fast speeds. They still can only do those runs, though, for about 20 to 30 seconds out in the wild. So once they're done with it, it's the same thing as you're seeing here. They're going to have to relax. If they didn't catch that prey, their bodies still have to relax. If they overexert themselves, it can be quite dangerous for them. So we try to follow that natural process as best as we can down here at Chile's Cheetah Run track. Now, cheetahs, a little bit about their conservation. In the year 1900, it was estimated that there was about 100,000 cheetahs running around the savannas of Africa, and all of Africa, actually, most of Africa, there were cheetahs to be found. However, currently, there's an estimated only 6,000 to 7,000 of them left throughout the entire world, and that includes facilities like here at the safari park. They are what's called threatened to extinction, which is not the most fun sentence to share with all of you. However, there's some pretty outstanding work being done to help the cheetahs out. Work being done here at the San Diego Zoo and other zoological facilities, and work being done in Africa. We are incredibly proud to say here at the safari park, we are one of the leaders in breeding cheetahs. We have birthed 170 cheetahs here at the safari park, which is really fantastic. And we collaborate with other organizations that also have breeding programs with cheetahs that we work with to make sure that the genetic representation of those animals is well represented, to make sure that we've got a nice selection there. Now I am seeing, it looks like our trainers are ready to do a second run. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna wait to see those hand signals, but I see all the lure equipment set up. So now if you didn't get a picture last time, this might be a good time to do it. And they're still getting set up, so I'll talk just a little bit more about cheetah conservation. Like I was saying, we are a leader in that, but another big thing that's going on is working on habitat restoration in the savannas of Africa. You know, there's a lot of us humans out in the world, which I'm guessing a lot of us know that, and when we encroach into wildlife's habitats, doesn't always turn out great for the wildlife. And if you live here in California or really anywhere, you're probably familiar with that as well, right? We have a big footprint that makes it harder for wildlife to exist. So like I said, organizations in Africa that the safari park is supporting to help increase the amount of wildlife habitat. All right, I see that hand going up. Nice run, Beata. We can do a nice little leather golf applause for her. She got her prize, which of course was that rainbow stuffed frog right there. Now Beata did that in, are you ready for it? 5.6 seconds. So a little bit quicker than our last one. The cheetahs do tend to run faster on that second run. So I was honestly, you're getting a good run today from Beata. This is on the faster. And now if you were watching her as she was running, there's a couple things I wanted to point out that happened really quickly, because obviously she's fast, but if you saw her working with that lure, she almost caught it down at the end. I don't know if anyone down here caught that, but she got a little close to it, and then Wendy pulled it just enough in time so that it was able to engage that predator instinct on her and to go a little bit faster. So nice job pulling, Wendy. And Beata was very focused. Her head was stabilized in one place, which cheetahs are able to do because their inner ears work a little bit differently than ours. So when they're running, they're going to focus on their prey, keep their head stabilized in one place while the rest of their body is doing the work. Now, as she's walking around with a net, I want to point out some of those incredible adaptations that allow her to do that gorgeous run. So the first thing you might notice on the tip of her face is those very large nostrils. She has enlarged nostrils to help bring in lots of oxygen as she is running because her body has some different needs as she's going at those speeds. Moving down the rest of her face, you're going to see what's called malar stripes. Those are the black stripes going from the corner of her eyes down to the corner of her lips. Falcons actually have the same adaptation. It's an indication that an animal might be what's called a diurnal predator. So that just means they hunt during the daytime. That's very unique for cats. Most cats are going to be nocturnal. Cheetahs are a little bit different. They hunt during the daytime. And so that malar stripe helps to reduce the glare from the sun, just like a football player or a baseball player. Then moving down her face, you're going to see those little ears. As she's running, she tucks the ears back to help reduce air resistance. And she has that barrel-shaped chest. Now that helps her to be as aerodynamic as she's running along. That barrel-shaped chest is filled with an enlarged set of lungs and an enlarged heart. And then it's hard not to notice those absolutely gorgeous long legs of her. Those long legs allow her in just one stride to go 20 to 25 feet when she is running. And when she's running, she reaches both out and then she reaches them back in again. That movement sometimes allows it so that she has all 4 feet off of the ground so that it's basically like she is flying through the air as she's running. And remember I told you about those claws? Did anyone hear it when she was running? Yeah. Did anyone get a chance to see some of the soil flying out of the air when she was running? That happens because of her semi-retractable claws. So what I mean by that is most cats' claws will go back into their paws just like your house cat's going to. Cheetahs, their claws are out all of the time. they work like soccer cleats. It gives them extra grip as they're running. They also have very thick foot pads that help them to do that as well, so that they have that extra grip as they're chasing their prey, like those Thompson's gazelles. Our prey item, that stuffed frog, that's a pretty easy item for a cheetah to chase, right? It just goes in one straight line. It pretty much goes the same way every single time. But out in the wild, I'm loving the faces down here at our VIP section. Out in the wild, a Thompson's gazelle is going to be weaving and turning and trying to ditch that predator because they're running for their lives. So the cheetah uses that long tail to help give them balance as they're turning around. They have a flattened tail that help them to have a little bit of control when they're making those turns so that they don't just fall over. Now, all of these adaptations allow the cheetah to be these incredible predators that they are out in the wild. However, like I was saying, they aren't able to outrun extinction as well as we'd like them to. So us as humans, we are really having to do our turn in helping them out. There's an incredible organization called the Cheetah Conservation Fund. That one person, her name was Dr. Lori Marker. She's an American. She learned what was going on with the cheetah. She moved to Africa. She started that organization, and they have been doing a lot of this incredible work on the habitat restoration and working with the local communities to reduce the amount of human-wildlife conflict that is happening.